her the wrong way. This gon' be a long day. She wants basketball, wives, love, and hip hop. Born in 81, one day full turned to 82. Funny, ratchet, and cute. She a winner, that's true. She don't even take L's, eating alphabet soup. Mayday, mayhem, 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 mayday, mayhem. She a cool black nerd, always been smart. Ever since she turned 8, wanted her name in the charts. Monty Python was a shit, Richard Pryor made a start. Red Fox and Eddie Murphy, inspiration to her art. Who you know got banned from the dollar store for throwing canned goods at her baby father though. She a good mother though. She ain't worried about laughs cause she gon' get a lot of those. Showtime at the Apollo though. And she paint the perfect picture telling stories up in all the jokes. You don't really want the drama bro. Cause Mabel cool, Mayday nice, Mayday want all the smoke. Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem, Mayday, mayhem.
And hello, and welcome back to another episode with who? Your girl, Mayday Mayhem. And what we're talking about today is a story that is devastating, none the least. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen it on the news. And I wanted to gather as much information as I could from the story, which was about the Houston children that were found abandoned in an apartment with no electricity, no food, and a deceased skeletal remains of their younger brother. And the monsters, these two right here, Gloria Williams and Brian Cutler, are the ones that are responsible for the death of this child, which allegedly is also autistic. Now, this chick right here is the one who made saying she's sorry. She didn't do it. But we're going to listen to the story. Like my mama always said, you always have to listen to who's telling the story. How did the story start? Where did this story begin? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start from the beginning. Now, it starts with a 15-year-old boy calling and saying that they had no food. And their mother had been gone and their brother had been deceased in the corner for over a year, for at least a year. And of course, when the Houston police got there in Texas, they were looking like, you know, this can't be, but they found malnutrition children. They haven't been to school in the whole year. They're below their learning level and age level. You know, like the 15-year-old allegedly may only have the capacity of maybe a 12-year-old due to the abuse from their mother. Now, we're going to listen to a few things. Like I always say, how the hell did this even happen? Let's listen to the first instance that we hear about. How did the story come about? So we're going to listen to it. How did this really even happen and how this news story broke?
On what's being called a house of horrors. This is in Michael's hometown of Houston, where police are saying the little boy was beaten to death by his mother's boyfriend. Zachary Keesh has more on what his three brothers had been through. Good morning, Zachary.
George, good morning to you as well. You know, some of these stories just hit a little bit harder. You know, these youngsters were failed by adults in their lives at every single level, beginning with their immediate family. And yet there were neighbors that wanted to help. But at the end of the day, those bags of chips, those slices of pizza, the phone charge they offered weren't enough to counter that house of horror. This morning, a gruesome discovery. Gloria Williams and her boyfriend, Brian Coulter, are facing several criminal charges after the body of her 8-year-old son was found in an abandoned apartment.
In my long time of working homicides, this one's up there. You know, this one affected us.
Sunday afternoon, a 15-year-old boy belonging to Williams called police for help, saying his brother has been dead for a year. 31-year-old Coulter is charged with first-degree murder, and 35-year-old Williams is accused of tampering with evidence and injury to a child by omission. Authorities say the 8-year-old, Kendrick Lee, died of multiple blunt force injuries, and his decomposing body was found in plain view.
We saw soiled carpet, no furniture at all. No bedding, no blankets, nothing that we could see.
3 of Williams' other children, ages 7, 9, and 15, were allegedly left alone for months with their dead brother. They were found malnourished and showed signs of physical abuse. Overnight, Melody Robinson spoke to our affiliate KTRK.
For you as a mother to watch somebody do that to your child, that's not a mother. A mother doesn't do that.
A neighbor says several residents complained about the odor and other issues in apartment 531.
I understand the management company called your apartment, and what did they ask you?
Yeah, they called me and they want to know, have you seen those guys, your next door neighbor? I said, no. I said, can you go and knock on the door? I did, but nobody answered, so that's happened a few times.
Really hard to wrap your head around this story, George.
Now, y'all heard that. Excuse me. Now, y'all heard that. They were living in an apartment complex. His brother had been deceased over a year. The police, excuse me, take a drink of orange juice. Sorry again, excuse me. The police stumbled in, got in there, and saw that these malnutrition children, they were beat, and further on, excuse me, one of the children had to have immediate surgery once they left. Now, you might be asking, how would the child have immediate surgery? Because his jaw was allegedly somehow broken due to this dirty motherfucker right here, Brian Coulter. Y'all gotta excuse my language. When it comes to kids and people hurting kids, and I have an issue with that. That's why I had to gather facts before I came and made sure I was cool with my rage about these 2 motherfuckers right here. And I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. It's okay. Because these bastards, these 2 motherfuckers right here is the reason why I believe in the death penalty. These 2 people right here. I believe in the death penalty. Why? Because Gloria Williams allowed this monster to beat her child to death and let him decompose into skeletal remains in the corner, while she went out kicking it with him and left her other kids starving, fending for themselves. Animals don't even treat their motherfucking kids like that. Animals don't do that. But this big bobblehead, overgrown bitch gonna allow him to kill her child. And then not only that, excuse me, continuously beat on her children to where one of the young ones had to have surgery done to his jaw, which was a recent injury. So they were going in and out of the apartment the whole time with no electricity, no food, soiled carpet, no electricity. How in the fuck are you in a building with no electricity and management knows someone is in that building? Now, I know personally on these properties, they have it where they will open that motherfucking door up. So you mean to tell me within a whole year, they have not opened that door to see what the hell is going on in there? Everybody failed these kids from the top to the bottom. They literally did. They failed these children. Then you had residents in the building giving them food, letting them use their charger. Like, I grew up, as y'all know, I'm an 80s baby. Let me take these monsters off the damn screen. I'm an 80s baby. And when I grew up, it was more of a community aspect about it. Whereas everyone looked out for each other and everyone knew each other, circumstance, the situation, whatever. You know, the lady down the street, Miss Jackson, wasn't shit. But everybody in the neighborhood made sure that Miss Jackson's kids was taken care of, clean. Y'all come on down here and y'all eat y'all dinner. Y'all come on down here, eat breakfast. And the community would get on Miss Jackson ass. Like, Miss Jackson, what the fuck's your problem? You need to take care of your shorties. Like, the women, it was a village type situation. We have lost that. That is out the window. When anytime these kids can be locked up in the house for a minimum of over a year and no one knows. You said it was a smell coming from there. Why didn't management go in there sooner? Were the locks changed? Well, obviously she was going back and forth because she was actually dropping off food for them. But snacks like chips and noodles. But how can you eat that shit when there's no electricity in the house? That makes absolutely no sense. But she did speak. Now, everybody want to know what the hell does she have to say. She did speak.
Mom, you aren't going to believe this. I made $13,000
Oh,
over
yeah.
food this past
Let's
year.
get this together.
Give here.
Here we go. Damn ads.
At 5:02, starting with a heartbreaking case of child abuse discovered inside a Houston apartment. 3 children found abandoned with their brother's remains.
Their mother has been charged and is currently in jail, but now she's speaking out.
Our Brittany Ford is live at the Harris County Jail. And Brittany, what did she say?
Well, Kim, we spoke exclusively with Gloria Williams, the mother, at the center of this horrific child abuse case. Now, she's currently being held here at the Harris.
Now, y'all, she talking to them exclusive, but they can't bring cameras and shit in there. But she told them what she had to say. Listen to what the fuck this little dinosaur head ass bobblehead bitch had to say. Just listen. My rage is verified with this one.
County Jail, and she denies all the allegations against her. She told us via phone from the jail that, quote, "I'm sorry I didn't do it." When she was asked if she knew her 8-year-old son, who has been identified as Kendrick Lee, was dead, she told us no. And why she left her kids alone? Her response: "I checked on them every 2 weeks." Those answers, contrary to court documents, would state the mom altered, destroyed, and concealed her son's body to get rid of the evidence. We were also able to speak with one of the children's parental grandmothers, who says Williams has a total of 6 kids. One of them, a 13-year-old girl, who that grandmother now has custody of.
Mom was very unstable. She was sleeping on the floor at her grandmother.
Ma'am, you checked on them every 2 weeks. Have you lost your fucking mind? I have 4 kids. Excuse me. And I check on their ass every 2 minutes. What you need? What you looking for? Sit down somewhere. Like, I don't understand. And let's not mention she has 6 children. Now, these are only 4. She have 2 girls. One that's what? They said 13 and another one that's 17. One lives with a grandmother, and the other one lives with like a cousin or aunt, or don't quote me on this, allegedly. But the girls are going out the house, but the boys are left to be beaten. And they says that this motherfucker right here, he drinks a lot, and you know he gets angry when he drinks. So you allow this motherfucker right here, this little scrawny bitch right here, to get drunk and put his hands on your kids. Are you serious? And you check on them every 2 weeks. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is why I believe in the death penalty. What didn't you do? She didn't do anything. What you mean you didn't do nothing? You didn't protect your fucking kids. You did not protect your children, which is the most precious part, because guess what? Kids are not only children, but they are a part of you, a part of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got 4 kids. I have 4 daughters. Yes, all of them are different and individual with their thinking, their mind frame. They're all different, individualized. But that's a piece of me. And I'll be damned. Now, if I let anybody put their hands on a piece of me, you can't even put your hands on me. But you're gonna put your hands on my, oh no. That, oh no, baby, we can't do that. So they both are being held on $1 million bond, which is awesome. Can't be mad at it. Do it. But I'm more concerned about these children. I don't give a fuck about them 2 monsters. I don't care nothing about them. I'm concerned about these babies. They watched their brother die and decompose in a corner for a year, because they have dated the maybe the child has been deceased since November of last year. So yeah, that would be about a year that this child has been decomposing. And they said they pulled back the blanket and saw roaches and bugs coming out of him. These are skeletal remains of a child that was allegedly had autism. And it was another one of her children that allegedly has autism. And I don't understand, how can you beat to death a child, and let alone autistic child, and let alone your child? Like, this woman ain't no mother. She ain't, I don't know what the fuck it is, but it ain't a mother. And there are women out here that wish they could have children, that wish that they could give birth, give life. And you have monsters like this that take life. You didn't want them kids. You could have went on ahead and gave them to the family. But then the family, why wasn't the family checking in on these kids? It's been a whole year. They haven't been in school since May of last year. Hell, when my kids started school, I don't know how it is in Houston. Y'all gonna have to tell me how it is in Houston. But here in Illinois, when my children started homeschool, and if your ass registered and your kids didn't show up the way they were supposed to, they was going, hello, Miss Mayhem, we're here to check on the children. Yeah, we saw you signed up and they haven't been in class in a few days, so we just come and check in on you. They will be knocking on my motherfucking door. And with this being an apartment complex, I can't imagine no electricity. How, and they've been there a whole year? That's impossible. That's crazy. That's insanity. You can't tell me that that's not. So I'm just praying for these children. They are going to need a lot of love. They are going to need a lot of support. They are going to need a lot of therapy, for one. I am a strong believer in therapy, and those children are going to need therapy and a very, very, very strong support system, because these children have been to hell and back to be so young. They've been literally to hell and back. And they just need to be loved on, taken care of, and told that, you know, they're loved. It's not your fault. You know, these children are going to have psychological problems. They really need as much therapy as they can. And then the officer said these children, they're so polite, very well mannered, you know, beautiful little kids. And they have to be beat because you want to lay up with something that look like this. You want to lay up with something that look like this. What the fuck is that? Can somebody tell me what that is? is he? He like a failed Backstreet Boy. What the fuck? Like, what? I don't understand why women would allow men to kill and beat their children just to say they have a man or just to say they have a relationship. That shit is whack. That shit is lame. That I can't do it. It's really whack and lame, to be honest. I just can't. I don't understand it. I really cannot understand it. I don't get it. For what? Just like, oh, I got a man. Me and my boyfriend. But you over here abusing and beating and killing your kids. All for what? Them children didn't ask to be beaten, killed like that. For what? Now you laying up, oh, I checked on them every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks? Have you lost your man? Have you lost your rabbit ass man? Every 2 weeks you checked on these babies. That's why this is titled Monsters Are Real. I'm praying for these kids. I'm praying that they get the best help that they could possibly get. I'm praying that these children will live a long, healthy, stable life and know that they are loved. And I hope they never see that bitch that popped them out again. I hope they never see her again. She needs, and she has been, of course, with their indictment, they are to have no contact with each other. They are to have no contact with the children. They have no contact with anyone pertaining to this case, because these children are going to be main witnesses to this case, to what happened to them. One of them had to have surgery in his jaw. Literally. You got to be killing me. You fucking killing me with this one. You got to be. Are you for real? What could a 7 or a 9 or an 8-year-old do that could make you want to kill them? I don't understand. But when you have monsters, what do you do? Now the story is out. The second part is who is also held responsible. Now we know who did it. Those 2 motherfucking monsters. We know who did it. But accountability has to also go. There were a lot of people giving them food. Why wasn't it reported? Why wasn't the office notified to say, look, y'all really need to go up in there and check on this management? Now, if she was coming in there every 2 weeks or whatever, was she paying the rent? But then the lights was off. So what? It's just heartbreaking. And we're going to keep going through as the story go on. And we're going to see what else is going on. And as this story progresses, we really are. Because this is insane. This is really insanity. And not along with that, also give you an update on the Jelani Day case. His autopsy again came back, and they said he died from drowning, which is impossible. So Miss Carmen Day family have another autopsy performed, which will be a third one performed, to find out how he passed away, because there's no way that he passed away with all the bodily injuries that was done to him. And that's what everyone is saying. It was a lot of bodily injuries done to him, where his eyes were missing, his teeth were missing, his lower jawbone was literally sawed out. You only do that to hide identification, as I've said before. You usually do that to hide identification. They go back to your dental record. If you don't have a dental record, they do DNA. If the DNA is too degraded, they have to try to do mitochondrial DNA or other type of situations to try to make sure this person. But his organs was liquefied. His brain liquefied. His eyes was missing. His teeth were pulled out. That's a lot of trauma done to the body to say that he drowned. Oh no. No. And he was an advocate swimmer. His car was found a mile away from his clothes, and then his body was found another mile. No, none of this makes sense. No. The Reverend Jesse Jackson and Miss Carmen, they did travel down and they walked the whole path to where they believe Jelani walked his last path to try to figure out what happened. And they are actually labeling this as like another modern day Emmett Till, only due to the circumstances of his body and how the trauma to the body was. So with that being said, they're still investigating Jelani Day to try to figure out what happened. And his family, Miss Carmen, is fighting hard, and I want to fight with her because something happened to this baby, and it's not he slipped on a rock and he drowned. No. Why was his car found hidden off the side of the road next to like a little complex or something, or a little shopping center? It's by something covered up. Then his clothes found somewhere else, and then his body found down the river. No, someone's hiding someone's covering it up. Because let's not remember when Miss Carmen went down there when her baby first came up missing, she did a very heartfelt speech. And a day later, that's when they started getting tips about a car and clothing and identification. And next thing you know, they found Jelani, but they didn't know it was Jelani because of his remains was so badly deteriorating that there was no way that they could know that it was him. So again, I'm praying that justice is served for Jelani. He really needs justice served because this is insanity. That this modern day and time, you can't tell me what happened to him. And you even see him looking on that camera. You literally see him looking on the camera, looking up. When he was at that dispensary, he was trying to send a message then. I still say he was trying to send a message then, because when you go into a dispensary here in Illinois, like I say, I have a medical marijuana card and I can legally go purchase marijuana here in Illinois. And students can too. If you're over the age of 21 and if you have a student ID, you can also go into a dispensary and purchase marijuana. But when you go in, they ask you to pull your mask down just so they can verify the face matches the ID. He did not only pull his mask down, but he took it completely off. That's telling. That's saying something. Like he wants you to get a very good, clear look in the, and then he looks up in the camera. That didn't look like a suicidal kid. That really didn't look like suicidal to me. It looked more like fear. It looked more like he was a little scared about something. A little nervousness. It looked like a nervousness. If not fear, maybe nervousness. That would take Miss Carmen to know her baby. But it looked to me as though he was a little nervous. And for a kid that, going to a dispensary all the time, you are not nervous in there. You are like a kid in a candy store. Trust me, I be in there all the time. But nevertheless, he left there and then he ended up in the river dead. No, you leave a dispensary, you go home and you smoke, or you go where you go and you smoke, you eat your edibles and you go about your day. And then let's not forget the counselor, Kara, whatever the fuck her name is, Booster. She the one who was the first one that pronounced him missing before his own mama. None of that makes sense. What did she know that no one else knew? What conversation did she have with him that night before that he was supposed to come in and speak to her that day that don't nobody else know about, that made her so, oh my God, he didn't show up for class. He didn't show up for the meeting. He's missing. Something's wrong. You've only been knowing this boy one semester. That makes no sense. None of that makes sense. So hopefully, I pray that we get justice for Jelani Day and Miss Carmen have justice for her baby. Because no one should have to have or see their child suffered under these circumstances. No one should. So we're going to stay justice for Jelani, and let's pray for these babies out here. And check on these kids. Check on your neighbors. I'm not saying be in their business, like, hey girl, what you doing? What you got? But you should know your neighbors. Check on your neighbors. Check on these kids. Like, my neighbors we don't talk much, but we know each other's kids. We know what's going on in the area. And, we can kind of feel things out. But, look out for these babies. So you see something that's real. I'm not talking about no bullshit. Oh, he had a stain on his shirt. He's been, no. Malnourished. Not in school. Haven't been in school for a year. You're living in a building and there's no electricity in there and there's a smell coming from there and no one's trying to see about it, because a decomposing body is not a pleasant smell, to say the least. It's a smell that sticks to everything. And these children were locked up in there with their decomposing brother, which made a smell throughout that whole building. And no one checked. No one. Management didn't go in there with a key and open the motherfucking door. They're going to need to look at management. Number one, they need to really look at management, because how was none of that looked at? But we're going to see. We're going to follow it. We're going to see what's happening. We're going to see what's crack-a-lacking with it. And we're going to just continue to pray for the safety and strength of everybody to stay in the same mind, to stay in a positive mind, to stay in a sane and positive direction. You having an issue, kids getting on your nerves, do what I do. Step away. Woosah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. Nah, what the hell do y'all want? Yes, parenting can be hard. Sometimes you need a breather. But killing your kids is not the fucking answer. And allowing monsters to do it is not the answer. That ain't it. Take time, sit down with them. What do you like to do, little Jimmy? Do something with them. That's craziness. This is insanity. This is really, really insanity. But like I said, I still pray that everyone stay in a positive mindset, in the same mindset. If you feeling depressed, you feeling like you need to talk to somebody, there are hotlines and numbers that can help you. There is other like groups of other parents and things that you can talk to. Or if you like an introvert like me, there still is help for us. But just woosah and talk it out, think it out. Harming these babies is not the answer. And I really, not all crazy and bullshit aside with the jokes or whatever. But no, I really believe that these two need to be I really believe that they if anyone deserves a death penalty, is these two. This is the most horrendous thing I've ever heard in my life. And I done heard and seen some shit. A decomposing child that you allowed him to kill while y'all kicked it, and your babies had to sit there and watch their brother die and decompose. May the Lord have mercy on your soul, but I ain't got nothing for you. So we're going to end this Mayday Mayhem mystery with this one. Do better today than you did yesterday, and strive for a better tomorrow today. And if no one told you I love you, I do. I really, truly, truly do. Like all bullshit that I do. But let's stay positive, stay productive, stay in the same mind, and just look out for each other. So until next time, everyone stay safe. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. And I'll holler at y'all later.